right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Serendipity Songwriter Showcase for the month of May. We are your hosts, Dan and Faith, coming to you from Charlestown, New Hampshire. We have with us this evening Pat Lamanna from Hyde Park, New York. Welcome, Pat.
Thank you.
And Rob Siegel from the wilds of West Newton, Massachusetts. Welcome, Rob.
Live from my kitchen.
That's right.
Yep.
And we want to do a quick shout out to Laura and Johnny at Serendipity Cafe in Maynard, Massachusetts. If you are ever in the Maynard area, stop into the Serendipity Cafe, have yourself some takeout, and tell Laura and Johnny we miss them, and as soon as we can get back and doing this live with them, we will.
Yeah, they provided us a home for this show. For several years, we were at Harvest Cafe in Hudson, and
That's right.
when Karen closed that down, Laura and Johnny offered us a place
They
over
gave
in
us
Maynard.
a home. Yep.
So, but it's all been online like everything else. So
Yeah.
we've been still enjoying this, and it's fun because we can have people from further away, like Pat, and we've had people as far away as Colorado on this series, and so
Good
it provides an interesting aspect of it as well.
It does. And just for those folks who are unfamiliar with the Songwriter Showcase, we do this as an in the round. We play a song, then Pat, then Rob, and then we go around again. In the third round, we have each of us, and at that point, Dan and I perform as solo acts, so there will be 4 songs written for the occasion of the evening based on a song prompt that was chosen after our last show.
Yep.
And we'll talk later about how you in the audience can give us some suggestions for next show. But the song prompt for this month is Smoke and Mirrors. So stay tuned for the third round. So,
All right, well, Faith and I will kick it off, and I'll put everybody else backstage.
all right.
So I was thinking about our family cabin, which we're going to hopefully visit next week.
Hopefully.
And
Looking forward to that.
but so this song came from a lucid dream. Spent a bunch of time in a dream, knowing that I was dreaming, exploring a cabin on a hilltop. So it starts there, and it has some about our cabin as well. Ready?
Yep.
I'll visit old dreams again of imagined places seen before. Take a walk there with new friends and visit those who've gone before.
And walk along a narrow, muddy track. Grass grows up the middle, not used anymore. This old cabin's owners are coming back. Through the mists of time I find its door.
This old cabin yearns for company, for the feel of little feet upon its floors. In the cold winter without its family, waiting for a friendly knock upon the door.
The cabin watches over the trees, guards the unkept yard and rocky soil, listens to the sounds upon the breeze, and dreams of when its builder did once toil.
In the backyard is a rock with piled stones, marks the place where ashes laid to rest. Now its master has left it all alone. The cabin guides him on his spirit quest. The children have all moved away. They come to visit when they get the chance. The old cabin wishes they would stay, wishes to feel little feet dance. Will there be another generation? Will new children come and run and play? The old cabin doesn't want to be forgotten. Will someone come and stay another day? Will someone come and stay another day?
The old cabin.
Yeah, in the backyard of the cabin is a rock with piled stones where my grandfather, grandmother, and father,
Are all buried.
all their ashes are buried.
Oh, wow.
And we do actually have a new generation coming up there. Our niece has been coming up when she can, and next week hopefully we're getting high-speed internet there, so we might see her more often. So,
Yeah, we're
But
getting
anyway.
gigabit Ethernet, or gigabit fiber optic.
which is more than we have
networking.
here.
Yeah. Just kind of amazing.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, Pat. Pat, you're muted. There you go.
Okay,
And you don't need to mute
Thank you.
when we put you in the background.
I know, I figured that. I think I muted while I was out here with you for some reason.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. So I thought that I would do all my songs except for the prompt one are kind of about singing and singers. So this one is called Sing to the Mountains. Let me start that again. Oh, come on. Sing to the mountains, sing to the stars, sing to your lovers wherever they are. In trouble and sorrow, in gladness and praise, I'll sing till the end of my days. I am not famous, I'm not on TV. I am no genius, that's easy to see. I'm only one person, so what can I bring but two hands that can work and a voice that can sing? Sing to the mountains, sing to the stars, sing to your lovers wherever they are. In trouble and sorrow, in gladness and praise, I'll sing till the end of my days. I am no child, but my dreams are still young. I believe that the best songs are yet to be sung, of heroes and dragons, of jesters and knaves, and the poor folk who struggle to get through each day. As they sing to the mountains, sing to the stars, sing to your lovers wherever they are. In trouble and sorrow, in gladness and praise, I'll sing till the end of my days. Sing for the everyday, sing for the strange, for the faith to accept and the courage to change, and the wisdom to know when you've made the right choice, to stand on the rooftops and raise up your voice as you sing to the mountains, sing to the stars, sing to your lovers whoever they are. In trouble and sorrow, in gladness and praise, I'll sing till the end of my days. I am not famous, I'm not on TV. I am no genius, that's easy to see. I'm only one person, so what can I bring but two hands that can work and a voice that can sing? Sing to the mountains, sing to the stars, sing to your lovers wherever they are. In trouble and sorrow, in gladness and praise, I'll sing till the end of my days. In trouble and sorrow, in gladness and praise, I'll sing till the end of my days.
Oh, yeah.
Sing to the mountains, thank you. That's on my CD called Full Circle.
Nice.
We had some good harmonies going here.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I have some good harmonies on the CD.
I'll bet.
Yeah, that's one of the things we miss about doing these in person is We can sing harmonies, but just nobody can hear them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rob, what have you got?
Well, like a lot of us, it's been a rough year, to say the obvious. Actually, it had been a rough 4.5 years. I haven't written a lot in the past 4.5 years, and it just seemed so futile to be trying to address living under an authoritarian regime with songwriting. It just seemed such a small weapon to try and wield. So I wound up not trying to wield it at all. But at some point you have to write because you just feel crazy if you're not writing. So like many of us songwriters, I have a list that I have on the computer of songs that are in some state of development. So I headed for the list. And usually when I head for the list, I'll find a song that's a lot more complete than I had remembered. So that was the case here, except that finishing the song meant addressing a question that I did not want to answer. And that'll become obvious as you hear it. So this is called The Duck Pond. Was my sophomore year in college. I was like most young men, obsessed with the triad young man's fancy of women, love, and sex. I drank those fragrant waters, I swam those vernal pools, and I don't regret an instant except one thing with you. Ellen and I took a whirl on the big merry-go-round. She was one of a tiny handful who I felt myself around. She was not the one I married or the one that got away, but I think about her fondly and the thing I couldn't change. Oh, Ellen, where do the ducks go? Where do the ducks go when winter comes? 'Cause we both loved the catcher in the rye and how Holden was obsessed. How in Central Park the duck ponds freeze, where the ducks all went. One night after making love, watching snow outside my room, we agreed that in 10 years we'd meet in the Central Park Lagoon. Decade fast and things went past, and my wife and I welcomed our new baby neath a snowy winter sky. I was aware of the calendar and that naive youthful vow, but the duck pond date couldn't be my fate. No chance, no way, no how. Oh, Ellen, where do the ducks go? Where do the ducks go when winter comes? 'Cause this is a romance novel level stuff. No one really does these things. If she remembered, she'd laugh it off with the common sense age brings. And it simply wasn't possible. It wasn't even close. But like Holden asking about the ducks, I could not let it go. behind me, yet I allocate a tear, haunted by the thought that she went to the pond that year. Was there a solitary figure, the snow swirling all around, waiting for her old lover who was nowhere to be found? And is not knowing worse than knowing, which should cause me more despair, if she'd gone there without me, or if we both weren't there? And if she was a no-show, was it a conscious choice like me, or had she just forgotten, or worse, never held the memory? Oh, Ellen, were the ducks there? Were you there when winter came?
What a great song.
I think I've heard you do that one once before, and it's still, it's, God, I love that song.
Thank you. I am almost through with a new recording of that,
Oh, nice.
which I'm very excited about.
Excellent. You working with Doug again?
Yes, I am.
Cool.
Nice.
So maybe I missed it. Is it a true story?
It is a true story. Almost everything that I write is a true story. Yes, that is a true story.
So Ellen
And-
might hear that song and contact you.
I would say that I do know the answer, and it's a secret.
As all good stories should have some secrets involved. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the other one we could do would be the Ballad of Bill.
We could. That would be different.
Yeah.
All right, we just changed our minds.
Dial up this one because I have to take a look at the chords for it.
Speaking of something akin to unrequited love,
Or something like that.
or
yeah.
something like that, yeah.
Now all I gotta do is find the, should be the good ones are always taken.
Might be under G.
Oh, that's possible. Yep, somebody didn't put the in it.
Yeah, sue me.
A librarian.
All right. So yeah, this is definitely different than what we were planning, but
Totally. Totally.
anyway.
All right. So yes, this one has a story behind it because otherwise you're really going to wonder about me singing it. We had a friend in college, just sweetest, nicest guy. Give you the shirt off his back, kind of. Really wonderful person. Hung out with our crew when we were doing events and stuff. And a guy named Bill. And Bill had this one interesting character flaw in that he always he never seemed to fall in love with a woman unless she was already in love with somebody else. And little would he know that 30 years later I would write a song about this.
This is in 3.
It is. That cute little blonde, the one over there, I'd had my eye on her for more than a year. It finally seemed like the right time had come to plan the move I'd be making. But she threw me a curveball, scuttled my plan, when she introduced me to her handsome young man.
The
Good ones are always, why are they always? The good ones are always taken. I've known this brunette for the last several years. I've noticed her laughter, anger, and tears. She never seemed all that intriguing to me, but today my interest was wakened. That glow in her eyes, my heart starts to sing. Her smile so sublime as she shows me her ring.
The good ones are always, why are they always? The good ones are always taken.
Is it luck of the draw, alignment of stars? This one little flaw has left me with scars. I love these sweet ladies, and not like a brother, but they all seem to be in love with another. I go out with friends, she's there in the crowd. I'll tell her I love her, I'll say it out loud. I'll speak of my undying passion for her, and how my heart has been aching. She lifts up her head, she smiles and sighs, as she lovingly gazes into my best friend's eyes.
The good ones are always, why are they always? The good ones are always taken.
Yes, the good ones are always.
Why are they always? The good ones are always taken.
For Bill.
The brunette with the ring,
That was me.
and he walked away.
And I
This is the best.
he'd given me the ring during winter break. We got back on campus, and I'm in the Rathskeller, and I'm showing it off to anybody who will stop and look. And Bill walks up, and he sees me and the ring, and he doesn't say a word. And then he turns around and walks away, and I hear him as he walks away mutter under his breath, "The good ones are always taken."
Nice.
So did he ever get anybody? Do you know?
We have no idea.
Don't know. We've lost
He
track
was-
of him.
He was Navy ROTC. He failed out of college, which meant that they owned him
They
for
owned
4
him.
years.
Yeah, he straight into the
And,
Navy for 4 years.
And then I know he was back on campus a few times because I saw him from time to time when he was on leave. But that's
And-
last I
and
know,
we-
and that's been a lot of years ago.
Yeah, and I've done some searches, and I think I might have found him, but I didn't find any mention of a Mrs. So I don't know. Someday he might, find us, and I hope he's not too horrified by the song.
You know,
He'll probably love it.
it's amazing how in this great big web-enabled world, sometimes you search for someone online and you find them in like 15 seconds. And other times you can search and search and search and you just can't find the footprints.
Oh yeah.
Yep. It took
And-
me 13 years to find my best friend from high school, and I found her in Shanghai.
Oh, wow.
She's Chinese American. She's unfortunately passed away several years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
But then this was when Skype was new, and we got on Skype and started chatting, and it was like we had last seen each other the previous week. And yeah,
It's wonderful when that happens.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
Yeah. All right, Pat.
Okay, well, as I said, I was going to do all songs about singing and songwriters. So this one is based on the fact that, along with writing and singing songs myself, I also love to put up songwriters and singers who are passing through. I do that quite a bit. So this is a song dedicated to them. It's called The Itinerant Folk Singer. Don't forget to call your wife. Let her know that you've arrived safe and sound in my town. I'll make up the extra bed. Would you like some pumpkin bread? You'll be well fed as long as you're around. You've been on the road so long, singing all the same old songs. You need a rest. Be my guest. But soon you're dragging your guitar, heading for Mahoney's bar, where you'll be found as long as you're around. When you get up on the stage, I'll be there in the front row. After every song you'll hear me clapping. An itinerant folk singer's life is the life you chose, and I'm one of those who helps you make it happen. The concert's done, the crowd was pleased. You sold a dozen more CDs, and now you're tired, but you're still wired. There's still some songs left to be sung. In the morning you'll be gone, but we'll have fun the next time you're around. When you get up on the stage, I'll be there in the front row. After every song you'll hear me clapping. An itinerant folk singer's life is the life you chose, and I'm one of those who helps you make it happen. So don't forget to call your wife, tell her everything went fine in my town. You're homeward bound. I'll be making eggs and toast. While you're waiting, would you just sing one more song? As long as you're around.
That's great.
Thank you.
And so much of that just totally rang true.
We frequently put up people as well when they're on the road, but also the line about being tired but wired. When we're out on the road, we'll often drive an hour after a show, just burn off that wiredness before we park in some truck stop.
Yeah.
The line that I really latched onto was the one about selling 12 CDs. I thought, wow,
Yes.
12
Great
CDs.
night.
Yes.
Who sells 12 CDs?
Yeah. All right.
True.
All right, Rob.
Okay, so as we were chatting about backstage a moment ago, all of us are more than one thing, right? We're more than just singer-songwriters, and we have other interests. And mine is cars. I'm an automotive writer, and you'd think there's a lot of crossover with that and songwriting, and maybe there could be, but I've never wanted to turn it into a joke. I don't want to be the singing mechanic or anything. But every once in a while, events in one's life are significant enough to produce a song that's a crossover without making it a joke. And so this is for our friend Rob Ayers. There's a guy I met at open mics I really like to hear. I'd see him every couple weeks over the span of several years. He's a damn fine musician, many folks would say, and while I'd agree completely, I knew him in a different way. We'd talk about cars, all the MGs and the Triumphs and the stupid things we'd owned. We'd talk about cars, the ones we learned to drive in and the ones that got T-boned when we weren't playing our guitars. We'd talk about cars. He'd drive to gigs in his Porsche, I'd take my BMW. We'd joke how real musicians have to drive a Subaru. I have this dead old British car I bought 6 years ago. He'd ask, what's the latest with the Lotus? And I'd shake my head and say, you know, and we'd talk about cars. The swagger of a Jaguar, the panache of an old Cord. We'd talk about cars, how to balance out your passion with what you can afford. The appeal of patina and old scars. We'd talk about cars. He once told me a story I'll remember until I die. He just sold his old sports car and took it out for one last drive. He wound it to 100 until the blue lights made him slow. He was cool, contrite, and truthful, so the cop just let him go. But then he pushed his luck and asked, "Any more of you ahead?" The officer was indignant. He said, "I can't tell you that." He was about to drive away when the policeman took a stroll, walked back to my friend, winked and said, "It's clear on up to Lowell." I don't know anyone else who could have gotten away with that. I finally got the Lotus running on a beautiful spring day. Just then I heard the awful word that my friend had passed away. On that car's first drive, I thought, I cried. He would have loved to hear about this, and I'd never get to tell him. We talk about cars, all the places that they took us, the adventures on the way. We talk about cars, and I'll miss that just as much as the music that he played. And if he's up there driving round the stars, I hope he finds someone to talk about cars.
Yeah, beautiful.
You
I
folks,
had forgotten that the Lotus running was so close in timing to his passing.
it was the same day,
Wow.
and he had played an open mic.
Oh, the night before. Yeah.
He had played an open mic the night before. I saw the post on the open mic. I wasn't there. You know,
Actually, it
which-
was that night that he played one.
I think so.
Yeah. I remember that. And
Yeah.
and then, yeah. It was
Yes,
that night.
but yes,
Yeah, yeah.
you are correct. But I didn't hear the news until the following day.
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Great guy.
And his
Yeah.
brother-in-law drives a Subaru.
All singer-songwriters except me and Rob drove Subaru.
We used to have a Subaru.
Yep. Yeah.
Of course.
I drive an Elantra. That's about the same, isn't it?
Ah, there you
Pretty
go.
close. Pretty close.
Now we drive a Tesla, but that's
Oh, good.
There's a singer-songwriter who you probably know who has an Austin Martin. Actually,
my
has
God.
2 Austin Martins. And I'm sworn to secrecy as to who it is.
Cool.
Yeah, I had a line in a song I never really finished, but it was a joke song. But there was a line in there about that really is the banjo player's Porsche. I think I made him a brain surgeon or something
Yeah.
in the song. So
That's awesome.
please.
And you're talking about the fact that we all have other lives. Dan actually somewhere has a somewhat unfinished song called "The Secret Lives
Well,
of
it
the
was
Musicians."
that one.
It was that one.
Yeah, the secret lives of musicians were the day jobs, because we all get together at an open mic or a song circle and we talk about music and we sing songs to each other, and often don't know what anybody else in the circle does other than play music. And most folks have something else they do. So
'Cause
You got to finish that song. That sounds like a good song.
You go to a party with non-musicians and they ask you, "What do you do?" You go to a party with musicians, they ask you, "What do you play?"
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and when the show is over and a bunch of people have just been playing a show for a big audience, they all sit around backstage and play more.
And jam.
Whereas, like the football players, they get done playing football, they go all play golf. All the sports guys, they go play golf. The musicians just can't stop playing. Anyway,
All right, so we have reached the third round. And the third round is the round where we each play a song that was written for the occasion of the evening based on the theme for the month. And the theme for this month is smoke and mirrors. And we don't actually require that people use that phrase in the song, they just have to be inspired by it, which is good. Anyway.
I usually try to find some interesting twist on it,
Yeah.
so, which I did this time.
So,
So.
and in this round, Dan and I are solo artists. We have not actually heard each other's songs yet, other than, distantly through the floor. And so it's all new to all of us. So we'll start out, or actually Dan will start out, and I will step aside.
I always want having to go first.
It's alphabetical.
That's how we wanted it, was Dan and Faith, not Faith and Dan, and our band name. And if I can remember how to play this, since I was playing around with the music a lot in the last couple of days. Fire in the rearview mirror, smoke clouds choke the morning air. Get out fast, red flag danger, hillsides burning everywhere. Ice shelves tumble to the ocean, caused by warming of the land. Scientists say their conclusion, caused by the hand of man. 'Cause we don't have another planet, this one is our only home. Maybe we should try to save it, venture down a different road. Fiercer storms arise each season, even stronger hurricanes. Twisters blasting through the heartland, floods from the endless rain. 'Cause we don't have another planet, this one's our only home. Maybe we should try to save it, venture down a different road. The Northwest Passage is now open, ice has melted more each year. Polar vortex froze the Texans, climate change is everywhere. Tides rise higher, weather's wilder, smoke is rising from the west. Colder winters, hotter summers, we've created quite a mess. 'Cause we don't have another planet, this one is our only home. Maybe we should try to save it, venture down a different road. We don't have another planet, this one is our only home. Come on folks, let's try to save it, our only home. A little rough yet, but
Okay.
I could just hear Faith harmonizing on the chorus.
I was actually listening to it. I wasn't actually harmonizing yet.
Well, you will when
I-
he starts
yeah.
playing it out. He will.
All right, now where'd the other
I'll
one
find it for you.
go? Okay,
It is probably that one.
that's the one. All right. We're gonna shuffle a few
Shuffle
things around on the screen so
there
that
we go.
he can drive and I can still see my song. All right,
I'll step out of the way.
and the smoke fell out of mine. I stuck with just the mirrors. Grade school, large class, don't excel. Cool girls make your life pure hell. Hoping other kids forget doesn't work for teacher's pet. Don't make waves, don't draw attention. Teacher gives you all detention. Like graduation, you've learned to hide. Keep your dreams inside. Mirror, mirror on the wall, that's not who I am at all. Mirror, mirror on the shelf, that's not how I see myself. Mirror, mirror in my hand, why don't you understand? Mirror, mirror on a pole, you can't see my soul. job, new boss to impress. Goal is to achieve success. Do the job, don't complain. Maybe create financial gain. 80 hours every week. Do it so you don't seem weak. Do what you have to do to get a good review. Mirror, mirror on the wall, that's not who I am at all. Mirror, mirror on the shelf, that's not how I see myself. Mirror, mirror in my hand, why don't you understand? Mirror, mirror on a pole, you can't see my soul. Forget all your dreams unless they are dreams of success. Convince yourself you're the type that thrives upon stress. Be a good pawn, be a good worker bee. Never stand out, never disagree. Mirror, mirror on the wall, that's not who I am at all. Mirror, mirror on the shelf, that's not how I see myself. Mirror, mirror in my hand, why don't you understand? Mirror, mirror on a pole, you can't see my soul. You can't see my soul. You can't see my soul.
Great. Beautiful.
All right, Pat's turn.
Okay, well, my song wanted to be a blues song, and it didn't care that I can't play the blues. So if I ever do record this, which I kind of doubt I will, I'll have to get somebody else to back me up, but I'm just going to have to do the best I can right now. So here we go. I'm staring at my laptop, it's staring back at me. Oh, I'm staring at my laptop, it's staring back at me. That camera's recording everything it can see. I ask Alexa a question, she answers right away. I ask Alexa a question, she answers right away. That's how I know she's listening to every word I say. Oh, my friends are all on Facebook, my family is too. Yes, my friends are all on Facebook, my family is too. Zuckerberg keeps track of everything we read and buy and do. I live online, it's my favorite place to be. Oh yes, I live online, it's my favorite place to be. I pay for convenience with my privacy. don't understand algorithms. I guess I'm just too dense. Don't understand algorithms. Guess I'm just too dense. My real brain's no match for artificial intelligence. Oh, you lured me with your clickbait. Now I'm tangled in your web. Yes, you lured me with your clickbait. Now I'm tangled in your World Wide Web. I know it's all smoke and mirrors, but I just can't get it into my head. Yes, I'm staring at my laptop. It's staring back at me. Ooh, I'm staring at my laptop. It's staring back at me. I know that I'm a slave, but I feel like I'm free. Smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Well done.
And you played the blues just fine there, girl.
There's a whole lot more could be done.
Oh, I know, but it sounded fine. So
Well, thank you.
yeah, that's totally fitting.
Yeah, I've been reading some articles about it and saw this movie, The Social Dilemma, I think it's
Yeah.
called.
Yep.
And that sort of got me thinking about how we are addicted to these machines and it's very deliberate
Oh yeah.
how that's happening.
Yep. All right, Rob, let's see what you came up with.
All right, so for the record, I hate prompts. I'm a very methodical songwriter. I will hone a song for weeks, and of course, I would have weeks with the prompt thing if I didn't leave it until the last moment. But that's what you do, right? So as a car guy, one could obviously write a car song about smoke and mirrors. Vis-a-vis seeing smoke in the mirror while you're driving a car is never a good thing. But I decided to do something else with this. You entered with a flash and bang, the heavens split, the angels sang, I bought it all, the whole shebang was more than just romantic. Flowers blossomed straight away, doves appeared and flew away, you even made me levitate, it almost felt like magic. You made it all look so grand, but it was only sleight of hand. How did you know I'd volunteer? The hapless fool who'd wandered near as you made sadness disappear and from your hat pulled passion. But closer I began to see something that was up your sleeve. The pledge, the turn, the prestige was just a trick you'd fashioned. It all went off just as you planned, but it was only sleight of hand. It was designed to look so seamless from a narrow point of view. You projected an illusion, and I thought it was you. Well, I imagine that you laughed as you sawed our love in half. Some smoke and mirrors, a final flash. You vanished through a trap door, leaving my life in shards. A suitcase and an empty yard, 3 rabbits and 5 decks of cards. Now what the hell was that for? The thing is, magic's never real. Its design is to conceal, misdirect, and then reveal only what's intended. I'd rather that you'd been a witch with real juju and not some trick. Eye of Newton, spells and shit, reality transcended. 'Cause in the end I just can't stand that it was only magic, man. A trick with rope and coins, and then all it was sleight of hand.
Wow.
Okay. For somebody who really hates prompts, you do so well with them.
Yeah.
So we're just going to keep making you do them from time to time.
No.
We'll wait a few more years like we did this time.
Yeah.
But
We'll have you
still.
back for this.
Damn, I like that song.
Yeah, it was great.
Beautiful.
And actually, it was interesting because when I was starting to try to figure out what to write, I was thinking about a magician who I knew pretty well in my childhood, was a camp counselor, and was in touch with a friend who was more recently in touch with the guy, and I was going to ask about it, never wound up doing so. But my song went elsewhere anyway. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the thoughts I had, was smoke and mirrors as a magician, and
The funny thing
And
is
it's-
that, as part of writing that, I had to do a little online research. And it's really very much of a disappointment if you look up online how tricks are done,
Oh, yeah.
right? Which of course now all you need to do is to look it up online.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it wrecks the whole thing. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. It's all that.
It's misdirection mostly.
Yeah.
and-
Unless you look up somebody like Penn and Teller, where they tell you exactly how they do it, and then they go and do it again, and it's clearly not how they did it.
Yeah, this guy we knew was mostly, much of what he did was ventriloquism, and he actually made it onto the Tonight Show once with his birdie that played trumpet.
Oh, Conrad Birdie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's out there with the puppet. The puppet's playing trumpet, which means he was doing the entire trumpet in his throat. Which I don't think he really went anywhere past that, but
But still.
at least not that I know of, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll try to figure out what we're going to play. You
Yeah,
can talk about...
yeah. So, obviously, we just had this prompt for being able to write the songs, and it's a lot easier for us if people suggest prompts. If we were doing this live at Serendipity Cafe, right now we would be going around the audience collecting little slips of paper from people where they had written down a word or a phrase, and then three of us would draw out three of them, and the audience would vote, and whichever one got the most votes would be our next month's song prompt. Kind of hard to pass something around online. So what we've been doing is we would like folks who are listening to please, in the comments, either on Facebook or YouTube, depending on
Wherever
where
you're
you're
watching.
listening.
Yeah.
Please write in the comments the word prompt, PROMPT, and a word or a phrase that you think would be interesting for next time songwriters to write a song about. And since we're doing this live, if you'd like to put it in live right now, that would be fabulous. But since we leave these online, we would like to give people who are listening to it afterwards an opportunity to play along as well. So what we will do is end of day on Sunday, this coming Sunday, which is the 17th. No, it's the 16th. Yeah,
Yeah,
16th.
16th.
So somewhere, 5 or 6 o'clock, Sunday the 16th, we will go through and we will collect all of the prompts that we can find on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're listening to this. And then we will sort of do a pseudo-scientific, random number generator thing.
And if nobody puts
select.
something in, that will go into our fortune cookie, fortune jar that we keep.
And start
select
randomly
something.
pulling fortunes out and figure out what we can do out of that.
So
We've
if-
done both.
if need be. So we like doing it in person because we get the feedback right then.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
we do what we can.
So please, if you are so inclined, and if you'd really like to torture us, feel free to throw in something bizarre. The craziest one we've had was
Sisters of Schadenfreude.
Sisters of Schadenfreude.
Ooh.
Yeah, And for those who are listening who don't know what that means, it's a German word, and leave it to the Germans to have a word for this, for taking great delight in the misfortunes of others. That was
There's been a lot of that the past couple of years. Hasn't there?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Anyway.
One of my banjo songs was from a prompt of, "It's been longer since I've seen you than I knew you." And I wrote a Civil War song out of that.
That one took me 3 weeks just to figure out what it meant.
I was thinking we would do this.
Yeah, that'll work.
So we started off the show with a song about a cabin, and thought we would do another song that's centered around
The town the
the
cabin
town
is
the
in.
cabin is in. It's the town of Beckett, Massachusetts, in the Berkshires, and it's a little sleepy town
3.
that was an industrial town with dams and mills all down the Westfield River. And in 1927, it was a day and a night with 5 inches of rain in 36 hours,
Something like that.
something like that. And one of the dams well upriver, which was made of stones and timber, let go. And the wall of water came down, and it took out the mills, it took out the dams,
Took out
it
the
took
center
out
of
the
town.
houses. It looked
Yeah.
like a hurricane went through, and there are photographs of it. And the town never really rebuilt as the industrial town it had been. Today it's a bedroom community to some extent, and a lot of artists live there. And so this is called Sleepy Town.
And a quick hi to Kev.
Yes. So this takes place at the center of life of any small town, the general store. Ready?
Yep.
At the general store you can get doghouse roses and cigarettes, rods and reels and fishing nets, movie rentals and snacks for pets. In this sleepy little town, in this sleepy little town, this old town that time forgot, with its winding roads and flower pots, neighbors who never lock their doors, but the trains don't stop here anymore. At the general store it all goes down, social hub of this small town, where the gossip goes around and policeman makes his daily rounds. In this sleepy little town, in this sleepy little town, this old town the time forgot, with its winding roads and flower pots, neighbors who never lock their doors, but the trains don't stop here anymore. At the general store you'll find it all, snowshoes hanging from the wall, gas your car, rakes for fall, what you need though it's no mall. In this sleepy little town, in this sleepy little town, highway went by years ago, factory moved to Mexico, quarries closed and the motel too, quiet settles like the morning dew. But the general store has closed its doors, dust collects on creaking floors, can't shop in this town no more, and we don't know what's in store. For this sleepy little town, for this sleepy little town, this old town the time forgot, with its winding roads and flower pots, neighbors who never lock their doors, but the trains don't stop here anymore. in this sleepy little town.
Nice.
And the store eventually opened after about 10 years of being closed. And then there were two, because there was one at the other end of town. They're back to one, and the one moved around the corner. But and you'd run into interesting people in the general store in Beckett.
Yeah, I went down with his dad and his dad's wife one time, and very familiar looking guy walking out the door as we walked in, and I'm racking my brain trying to figure out who I know out here. And figured if I stare at him for a long time, maybe he'll recognize me and he'll say hello. And no, he just looked right through me. And it wasn't until we were on our way back up the hill from the store that it occurred to me that, the reason he didn't recognize me is because he's Arlo Guthrie and he doesn't know me from a hole in the wall.
And he lives about a mile up the road from the general store.
And I blurted this out in the car, and Dan's dad says, "Well, yeah, didn't you hear me say hi, Arlo, behind you?" And his wife goes, "That was Arlo Guthrie? Why didn't you tell me?"
My dad knew Arlo because my dad ran the hardware store chain that was in the Berkshires, and Arlo would come into the store in Pittsfield to ask questions, and they'd get chatting, and you know, he
Picked up
needed
his
one thing or
lumber up
another,
there, and yeah.
one thing or another for the house, and you know, or whatever project he was working on. And
Yeah.
so he was just Arlo. He was one of the locals.
Yep. And yeah, Sarah Lee and Johnny live like right around the corner from where the store used to be. So yeah.
But
I assume that Arlo probably needed the shovels and the rakes to pick up the garbage.
the implements
Get
of
him from
destruction.
somewhere.
And the garbage bags.
Actually, his father was pulled over by Officer Obie one time.
No kidding.
Oh, you love this, Rob. He was in first gear, going uphill, maybe 8 miles an hour.
And Obie pulled him over for speeding.
And of course, my dad, being my dad, gave him some lip, got thrown in jail, used his one phone call to call the state police, who came down, yelled at Obie, let my dad out.
Oh, that's too funny.
Now that is a song.
I have to let the dog out. I'll be back
Okay.
in 5
and
seconds.
it's,
Yeah, I
it's
can hear
Pat's
it.
turn anyway, so.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead, Pat?
Okay. Well, this is a perfect song for this evening because it's called You Don't Have to Be Perfect, and I kind of flubbed a couple of things on the other songs I did, so let's see if I do this one perfectly. But if I don't, it won't matter because it's called You Don't Have to Be Perfect. I like the handmade cake, the kind that Grandma used to make. Sometimes it had a funny shape, and the edges might be blurred. They didn't look like Sara Lee, or the kind you'd buy from the bakery. But you could taste the love that she poured into everyone. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to be a star. You don't have to be anything but who you are. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to be a star. You don't have to be anything but who you are. I like the handmade scrawls my kids brought me home from school. I used to hang 'em on the wall just like any work of art. They weren't Michelangelo's, they'll never hang in juried shows, but everyone who sees them knows they came straight from the heart. You don't have to be perfect, you don't need to be a star. You don't have to be anything but who you are. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to be a star. You don't have to be anything but who you are. I like the handmade songs. I love to watch my friends perform, and I always sing along when I've learned the words. They won't be heard on MTV or in that hall called Carnegie, but they have all the poetry of any song I've heard. You don't have to be famous as you strum on your guitar. You don't have to be anything but who you are. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to be a star. You don't have to be anything but who you are. You don't have to be anything but who you are. I like the handmade songs.
Nice. Thank you.
I like that, handmade songs. It actually makes me think of Tom Smith, who's listening, so we're going to say hi to Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
All right. And Rob made it back from putting the dog out. So. Yeah, dogs have no concept of you're online, so.
Or time.
Or
so,
time, yeah. I have a song about that.
Yeah. All right, why don't you go ahead, Rob?
Okay. The summer of 2019, my mother had passed away, and my father had passed away in 1969. So the deaths were separated by 50 years, which is, I guess, unusual. But even though she was 89 and had lived a long and wonderful life, obviously it affected me. And I thought I would write a song about the stages of life as told to a certain extent through moisture. I mean, we're born in moisture. We're literally conceived in moisture. We're born in moisture, and to some extent, all of life is this lifelong process of drying out and turning into dust. And so I thought I would write a song about that. But number one, it's already a Kansas song called "Dust in the Wind," and I kind of realized that at some point. And the other thing is that once I started to write it, the song kind of took on a mind of its own, as songs sometimes do. So the opening line kind of retains the original intent of the song, and the refrain retains the original intent of the song. But the rest of it is about the feeling that I had that, once my second parent had passed away, there was sort of no longer anything between me and the grave, right? As old as I am and as old as my mother was, as long as she was alive, I sort of felt like she was like a bulwark against the darkness. So this is called "Until I Blow Away." It starts wet and screaming, it ends dry and dreaming, and the part in betweening is what we call life. It's rarely expected, it's auto-corrected, it's the blossom in winter, the rose in the ice. And so I didn't know what was waiting for me in the snow. Each morning I'd wake up certain that they would let time pass through me till I blow away. It wasn't apparent till I lost my last parent, and so I had 60, an orphan and everything shifted from what I was gifted, and the veil was lifted between me and the rain. So now I can see what's out there waiting for me. Now most nights I lie down hoping that they will let time pass through me till I blow away. It's the vote that's been hacked, it's the deck that's been stacked. I might have a third act, but I doubt a fourth. I'll learn my last lesson, I'll book my last session for a gentle procession, finally north. And oh, now I can sense the thing for which we've no defense. I'll find things to do, but all I can do is let time pass through me till I blow away. And oh, now I can feel the shivering point of the steel. I'll stay here and fend as long as I can, and just let time pass through me till I blow away.
Put us out.
There we go. Make sure I click the right frame.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of a bizarre feeling to suddenly realize that you are the senior generation in your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm still clearly only 15.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I was 41 when yeah, my mother died when I was 33, my dad when I was 41. And,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And it just seemed kind of bizarre. So,
Yeah.
but you know, it could have been worse. My mother, her mother died when she was 3, and her father when she was 15. So,
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
I can't imagine. But yeah.
We
it's,
get what we get, you know.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And you know, part of what we decided, you know, we lost a whole bunch of friends right about, you know, in a couple of years, and
Back around 2015, we lost several friends, close friends, and
right in a row.
we decided to buy a van and go start driving around the country playing music, because we decided that,
Why not now?
you know, why wait? Because we don't know what tomorrow brings. And if there's any lesson from the last 14 months, it's do stuff now. Yeah, we don't know what the future is going to be of the pandemic.
Of course,
I'm going to
for the
enjoy
last-
the hell out of the summer.
Yep, and for the last 14 months, we haven't been able to go anywhere because there's been nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So we've got it pent up.
Yep.
Yep, we all do.
You and
So this
Greg,
will be-
you and the rest of us.
Yeah. So this will be the last round of songs, and we thought we would do one that's it's on our latest album we put out at the beginning of 2020.
We had all these tour dates set up for it, and they all went poof.
Yeah. But the album
Yeah.
was well received. It made it to number 7 on the folk DJ charts, and we were really thrilled with that. And this is one of the songs that was just a lot of fun to play. And what we haven't had the ability to do is play this in front of an audience who can sing along, because I wrote this one so that people would sing. So you guys will be muted, and everybody else will be listening somewhere else. But please sing along. It's
We'll
a really
sing
easy
along.
chorus.
And you'll hear it a lot.
Yeah. And it's an opportunity for Faith to play the dulcimer. I've been trying to
Yep.
write a few more songs that make use of the
And
dulcimer.
this is not the dulcimer I've been using on these shows. This is my other dulcimer. It's my older one. It's built across the river in Vermont by a gentleman named Jeremy Siegel, who I understand is actually Pete's cousin. And yeah, Kev, if you're still listening, the hummingbird sound holes are for Mom. So, because you know how nuts she was about hummingbirds or birds in general. All right.
So this is sort of about what we were doing until the pandemic had us stop doing
And what we will do again, damn it.
it. Ready?
Yep.
Rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world. Been to the east, been to the west, been to the north, been to the south, been rambling this whole world round, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world. Been to the mountains, been to the plains, been to the desert, seen floods and rain, been rambling this whole world round, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world. Been to the ocean and dove right in, lived in a city, never will again, been rambling this whole world round, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world. Been singing songs and making friends, been telling stories now and then, been rambling this whole world round, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world. Rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, been rambling round this old world.
Yeah, even the dog liked it.
Does he want to come in now? Very nice. That was a classic. That's one of those traditional songs that people write from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the goal, and you know, it's just like the kind of thing that you could see Pete up there singing or Woody is just a way to get people singing along, and that's one of the things that you know, one of the influences that Pete left me with was, you get people singing, they'll be.
They're doing something together.
Yeah, they're doing something together. It's harder to
Yeah.
hate people when you're doing something together.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, so rambling around, and we actually lived that in early 2019, going all over the country, which was a real treat, and we can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
So,
All right, Pat.
Pat, you're up.
Great. Okay, well, Rob, this is another song about death. So we didn't plan this, but that's how it came out. I've sung a lot of memorials, and like Dan and Faith said, I lost a lot of dear friends in 2020, and so far in 2021, we've lost a few as well. None, as far as I know, to COVID, but just various things. And when you get to a certain age, I guess that starts happening. So when I sing at these memorials, I sometimes choose the song, or sometimes I'm asked to sing a particular song. And at some point, a few years ago, I started thinking, what would I like to have sung at my memorial? And if I did decide what I want sung at my memorial, how am I going to communicate that in a way that people are going to learn it? So I thought, well, I will very cleverly insert the titles of the songs that I would like sung at my memorial in a song. So a lot of these songs are not terribly well known, but I bet that Dan and Faith and maybe Rob will be familiar with some of them. I believe there's 7 titles that are inserted into this song. When my time rolls around, here's what I want you to do. Take this old body and put it to some use. Give my eyes to the blind and my heart so true. In another chest may pound when my time rolls around. And whatever is left you can take and burn. Then pour my ashes in an old brown urn and scatter them over the clear water stern, singing turn, turn, turn when my time rolls around. Well, may the world go when I'm gone. Wonderful friends, carry it on to my old brown earth. River, take me along. You can sing these songs when my time rolls around. When my time rolls around, please give my guitars to someone who'll play them till they're old and scarred. My keyboard, my dulcimer, my banjo so round, may they make a joyful sound when my time rolls around. Well, may the world go when I'm gone. Wonderful friends, carry it on to my old brown earth. River, take me along. You can sing these songs when my time rolls around. I don't want to be the cause of any arguments or pain. These are my last wishes, I hope I made them plain. When my songs and my love for you are all that remain, keep each other safe and sound when my time rolls around. When my songs and my love for you are all that remain, keep each other safe and sound when my time rolls around. When my time rolls around. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I recognized a few
Oh,
songs.
we've lost
Oh,
our
yeah.
hosts.
Yeah, I got them. You don't see our hosts?
We're on.
We're
Well,
on.
that's interesting. Yeah, I see Dan and Faith. Oh,
Did that
yeah,
help?
there they are.
I pulled us down and put us back up to see if that would help you.
Weird.
That's weird.
Bug.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
You were-
bug and streamer.
You were just like a swirling little
Oh,
icon.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was
yeah,
spinning. Okay.
Weird. Okay.
But yeah, recognized several song titles in there, and
Good.
by us.
Including one that it was strongly recommended that we learn. So
What's
Yeah.
that?
I
one?
think it was Wonderful Friends.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Yeah.
Friends. Oh, beautiful
Yeah.
song. Yes.
Yeah. And but yep, lots of Pete songs.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I know you spent a lot of time with Pete, and I was lucky enough to do that when I was in college, and that was a treat. So
Great man.
Rob,
take us home.
Take us home.
I know you're home already, but
We're all home.
I will try to do my best. As a songwriter, it's fun to write songs from the title, and country songs obviously are quite often written from the title. So I had this idea about writing a a bluegrass song with a title that's so obvious that I couldn't believe that no one had written it. So I searched for the title in quotes to make sure I was hitting on it exactly. I found one and only one hit on a country music songwriting related website to from a guy who said he was writing a song with this title. No other references to the song, and I couldn't find a published or a recorded version of it. So I thought, it's fair game. So here it is. It'll be obvious when we hit the refrain. Another night all alone in this big house. My best years behind me like the wind. I guess it's just me and you and my memory, and maybe a smoke and some gin. Clearly what's needed is bluegrass, 'cause I wonder where you are tonight. And I'm still missing you, and I'm sure feeling blue. I'm high and I'm lonesome tonight. I've got skills like some shit-faced Liam Neeson, and I've got pills that get me higher than the sun. Towns Van Zandt sure drank, as did George Jones and Hank. Rank amateurs, every goddamn one. 'Cause when it comes to cruising the cosmos, ain't no one can rise to my heights. Give me Alison Krauss and we'll burn down this house. We'll get high and lonesome tonight. But I went long ago, just like Bill Monroe, down that highway of sorrow, you see. Rambo recommended the derangement of the senses, but that French dude got nothing on me. Just like Bill Monroe, down that highway of sorrow and pain. I dig rock and roll, but it don't soothe my soul like I dig rock and roll, but it don't soothe my soul like Doc Watson on that blue railroad train. Well, I love me some Neil and some Joni. There's a sadness that makes me belong. But this music's like tear gas. It said it ain't bluegrass if she's alive at the end of the song. Ralph Stanley was in constant sorrow, and Hank was so lonesome he could cry. I let them all come around and surround me with that sound. We'll all get high and lonesome tonight. Let me take my final breath as the record plays. Oh, death, I'm high.
And
I
on
gotta take
that
a big
note,
breath.
oh man,
That was a fun song to write.
Yeah.
bet.
There's some really great lines in that too.
And I'm really impressed with that last note.
Oh yeah. When you said Rambo, I wasn't sure you meant the French dude until you said something about the French,
French
dude.
dude, yeah.
I thought you meant a different Rambo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, yep. As Tom Smith just said, that's quite a finish, and I can't think of a better way to end than with laughter.
Well, thanks everybody.
Yep,
We're gonna take June off with this show, and we'll be back hopefully in July.
Yep,
But we need a month to get some other things done around here.
definitely.
And Tom, thank you for putting in a prompt, and hopefully other people will.
Yep. And thank you, Pat Lamanna, and thank
Thank
you, Rob
you.
Siegel. It's great to have both of you with us this evening. It's been a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Rob, it was great
folks.
to meet you.
Great to meet you too, Pat.
And thanks to everybody who tuned in and to everybody who tunes in later.
Yep.
And we'll be back. As I said, this particular series will resume in July, and next week we will have our midweek song swap, and we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yep.
So
Anyway, good
good
night,
night
all.
all.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks a lot, Dan.